YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Must be recognized by the black man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he wanted me to speak for all black people. Think for the whole and speak for the whole. Here's the way I want you to think. If we have 30 million people eating a slice of bread per meal, that's 90 million slices of bread per day. 630 million slices of bread per week. 37,760,000,000 slices of bread per year. How much land must we have under wheat cultivation to give our people their daily bread? Then he said, move on to milk. How much land must we have? How many cows must we own? How much grazing land must we have to give our people a glass of milk with every meal? How many sheep must we have, and how much grazing land must we have to give our people a lamb chop? I didn't say pork chop. Lamb chops. They ain't got to rob nobody. You gotta own the means of production. Then all your businesses will spring up. How much land must we have to give our people a requirement of spinach or broccoli or carrots, cauliflower, onions, garlic, string beans? All the things that help us to feed ourselves come from the land. How much land must we have? We've got to know just what it takes to feed an entire people. That means we are independent. We've taken our stomach away from our enemies. How much clay land must we have in order to make bricks, to start building houses? How much forest land must we have to cut down the trees and make wood to build homes? We have to have land, and there is no compromising this.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The truth must be recognized by the black man. But the word economics comes from the Greek eikonomikos, but it has come to be defined as the science of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services, or the material welfare of humanity. Now, a blueprint is something defined that acts as a plan, a model, or something providing guidance. An economic blueprint is exactly what we need.
1, 2, 3.
Doctor, you in the house? Lawyer, you in the house? Teacher, you in the house? Preacher, you in the house? Tell me something. If you don't eat well, how long will you practice law? If you don't eat well, you become the patient, doctor. So don't look down on a farmer, look up to a farmer, because today it will be us farming our own land, producing our own food that will save our lives. It hurts me to travel and see us so dependent on others for the basic necessities of life, when the richness of our land is there to produce all that we need. And then some.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
Now let me count it up. 1, 2,
The truth must be recognized by the black man. We are an international people. Our brothers and sisters are all over the world desirous of doing business with us. But if we are not producing anything, we can't enter into trade and commerce with the nations of the earth. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote in Message to a Black Man, quote, as a people, we must become producers and not remain consumers and employees. We must be able to extract raw materials from the earth and manufacture them into something useful for ourselves. This would create jobs in production. We must remember that without land there is no production, and the surplus of what we produce we would sell. This would help develop a field of commerce and trade as other free and independent people whose population is less than that of ours, the so-called Negroes. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
We're talking about revolution because that's the era that you're caught in. You're caught in a revolutionary era.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad outlined some basic principles. Number one, recognize the necessity for unity and group operation. Do you understand that if we can work together as a group in unity, we will be more successful, more powerful, more able to do the things that as individuals working by ourselves we have never been able to do. Pool your resources physically as well as financially. Stop wanton criticism of everything that is black owned and operated. Keep in mind that jealousy destroys from within. Observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. Now, these are things that we must do. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked us to commit to save 5 cents a day. He said if we can save just 5 cents a day from our wages, 25 cents a week for 52 weeks in the year, that would mean we would put aside $13 a year that we could save in a national savings treasury. At that time that he wrote this, we numbered 22 million people and approximately 5 million were wage earners. Well, if 5 million wage earners save $13 a year, this would mean 65 million saved out of our wages in 1 year. At the rate of 25 cents per week, it would be painless. Today, brothers and sisters, don't you think we can do better than what we were asked to do 48 years ago? According to government statistics, there are a little over 16 million blacks employed at some level. Well, look what happens if we raise the economic bar and contribute the same nickel a day. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
Defending black women and black children and black babies
must be recognized by the black man. The Honorable
Greetings, beloved family. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. Welcome to the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM on this Saturday morning, African Liberation Day, May 25th, 2024. The day of the African Unity Conference at the Kwame Ture Center. I am Brother David Muhammad, and I'm going to be in studio with you up to 9 o'clock, inshallah. And in a short while from now, I will open up the telephone lines. We're going to take your calls. I would like to spend, for obvious reasons, I'd like to spend more time than usual on phone calls. And our numbers are 342-0081 and 466-5391. And of course, you could go on to the social media pages of the Street 919 FM and follow the program live. So, beloved family, today is the day. The African Unity Conference, African Liberation Day 2024 at the Kwame Ture Center from 3 p.m. sharp. Doors open at 2 p.m. We start promptly at 3 p.m. And our focus, beloved, this year, our themes have always been along the lines of black economics, reparations, why our African history must be taught in schools, networking, organizing, community empowerment, and of course the focus remains on that. But this year, in particular, we're looking at family. The black family. And we want to get into that ideological mind space where less of our blame goes outward and more of our sense of responsibility is redirected inward. We want to get to that mental headspace where as soon as problems arise, our immediate triggered response is to look somewhere else to find the source of why what went wrong, instead of taking a mirror reflective consideration of whether or not we ourselves could have possibly been culpable in the generation of the problems that we have. Haven't we seen some consistent patterns whereby over and over we're suffering from the same kinds of social conditions? Well, if we have a consistent history of finding ourselves in specific kinds of situations, do you realize what the common factor there is? Yeah, the common factor would be ourselves. And of course, many and a lot of our problems come from outside sources. And society has its mechanisms of trying to correct those sources, and we can organize to try to correct those circumstances. But if no effort is made whatsoever to correct the most consistent element in all of these issues, which is ourselves, if not even consideration is given to that, well, then we're likely to see all of the other issues, all of the other factors changing eventually through time as a result of our effort, but ourselves remaining the same. Not good. So today at the African Unity Conference, we're going to be looking at family, the roles and responsibilities, the functions of parenting. We're going to look at unity within the community, that scientific approach of a village raising a child. We're going to look at African social systems that bring about empowerment of everyone within a neighborhood. We're going to look at this crime situation, but not from the point of view of the government or the police or crime investigations units, who all could do better. We know that. But if they could do better and we can do better, but 100% of our energy and attention is focused on them doing better, then what's going to happen to us? It's really time for a mature conversation within and among ourselves. We know there's much more that the government can do. We know there's much more that the police can do. We know of the negligence, the injustice within the court system. We all know about that, and we speak out against it, and we condemn it. But if while they are not doing their job, we are not doing our job either, and we're rallying and protesting and marching and advocating for change to take place on the outside, but no kind of change taking place on the inside, oh, well, even when the problem is solved on the outside, it might reoccur on the inside because we're not seeking to correct self. So, beloved family, we're looking at this crime situation in our society from a different angle. I'm going to show you today, inshallah, how the media causes crime. And it's not some speculative opinion, beloved. It's sociological research. There's a direct cause and effect relationship between the media and crime. We're going to explain that in detail. And the only barrier that stands against it is the role and duty and function of families. It's quite deep, beloved. But, I mean, looking at poverty and economics and networking, the idea of growing our own food, I mean, there's just so much. But we have a lot of really new and powerful and dynamic research to share with you on a lot of these factors. So, beloved, our doors open at 2 p.m. We start promptly at 3 p.m. We expect to go up to around 6 p.m. Of course, there'll be a number of items on sale. There'll be food, there'll be delicacies, there'll be books. And of course, every year on African Liberation Day, we reduce the prices on almost everything. All right, so we have Black Studies, we have Black Youth at Risk, and Knowledge is Power. We have Message to the Black Man by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that great book, How to Eat to Live. All right, so we have, it's going to be a great day. And of course, we have some really incredible guest speakers. And let me just run through this really quick. And of course, I'm going to open up the lines. But we have, first of all, our beloved brother and minister, our leader in Guyana, Brother Dennis Muhammad, who is doing such an incredible work out there in Guyana, in business, in economics, in organization, in establishing unity between different sections of our peoples. And Brother Dennis Muhammad, who's the Nation of Islam representative of Guyana, he's going to be speaking today and also tomorrow for our 11 o'clock morning lecture on Sundays. But Brother Dennis Muhammad is speaking today. We have a great black woman, Sister Abby Taylor. Do you know who that is? Well, if you were living in Tobago, you will know. Because our sister, Abby Taylor, she is what we call the equivalent of the Speaker of the House of the Tobago House of Assembly, or the presiding officer. She's a young sister, conscious sister, powerful, always been focused and ambitious, has done so well throughout her life journey, and she's a great inspiration, particularly to our young sisters. So she's going to be speaking. We have, of course, our great warrior, the president of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association, who has been hosting a series of anti-crime talks across the country over the last year or so almost. Our brother's going to be one of our opening speakers as well. We are having Brother Clyde Noel, who's the founder of the 12 Tribes of Israel in Trinidad and Tobago. Brother Clyde Noel of All Mansions of Rastafari. Again, Rasta and Muslim unity. It's been 11 years, 12 years particularly, that we've been pushing that. And we look forward to hearing from our brother, of course, Sister Roxanne Muhammad, Brother Brent Muhammad, going to be speaking as well. We're hoping to have Brother Alpha Senan, that ambassador of agriculture, who has traveled. If some of you think I've been to a lot of countries, well, 39. Our brother has been around the world, including Israel. I don't want to start talking about Israel now, trust me, because I won't stop. But our brother has been out there to Israel, representing Trinidad and Tobago in agriculture. We look forward to hearing from him too. And a couple little surprises possibly. All right. But make sure and get there before 3 o'clock. I'd advise you to aim for the latest 2:45. Because once we get rolling, we're rolling without stopping. That's 3 p.m. this afternoon at the Kwame Ture Center. So, beloved family, let me open up the telephone lines. As you would know, I've been here and there for a bit, which has always been my life. That's nothing new. All right. It's just that it's been a bit more focused now. I did a lecture in London last week. It would have been 2 weeks ago. We ran it on the program last week on crime, justice, and the black community, which showed the universality of our struggle, because it's one nation, it's one black community, and the patterns, the similarities, the trends that run through all of us are so profound. All right, so let's go to the phone lines. Let me make sure we're in order. Caller, good morning. Can you hear us?
Pleasant morning to you, Dr. Muhammad.
Yes, good morning.
Tabak is here, yeah? Dr. Muhammad, let me say Happy Liberation Day to yourself, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you.
To Louis Farrakhan, the entire world, the entire region, diaspora, anywhere the African community resides, and to all who will be there this afternoon. Dr. Mohammed is a long time in coming. And can I be a little controversial this morning?
Is that something new?
What? Well, Doctor, let me go. It's not controversial, but I think I have to do it. And I want to make a clarion call to the government. And I'll tell you where I'm going with it. As we are about to celebrate emancipation, every year the government gives out subvention to various African groups. And I think it's high time that the government level the playing field and give equal amount of money to all groups. And I'm saying this here to say this. Group like yours, if they're giving out 10 million, I think, look, 5 should go to you. And I'll tell you why I'm going there. Because I tell you I want to be controversial. You see, one of the things, we want to look at the groups that really going into the African community and getting results. Now, trust me, I don't have any bad feelings against any other group. But I'm saying if we really want to ensure that we get that camaraderie, that community spirit in the African community. And why I'm really singling out you, not that I'm a fan to say put you in front of the class, but it's clear to all us.
All right, not sure if we lost you there. You can right. Okay, so we just lost you for a bit. Go ahead, please.
Right. Sorry about that. So I'm going to come out quickly now. I'm saying such a movement like yours, such an organization, the Quamitory institution, in terms of education, you are not just educating people in Laventille, but you are educating the entire country, the region, and the world. And as a result of that, to the ministers and the powers that be that's listening to your program, which I know they do, I am saying, if you're giving 20 million, give 10 to David and 10 to the other groups. You see, I tell you, we're looking for fair play. We're looking to spread that African love. We're looking to spread, and I'll tell you this as I close. Your mantra is education. And let's face it, people, without funding, even though I know you're not going cap in hand begging, but IWER is making this deep clarion call this morning to the state that will take money from the treasury to ensure that you call Dr. Mohammed with the Nation of Islam, the Quamitory Center. It is time you all stop giving him trinkets, chicken food, and just take a little pocket change. No, he wants to further the education in the African community in Trinidad, the Caribbean, and the diaspora. Look, Dr. Mohammed, I bid you peace. Your family loves them, the movement. More than likely, you will see me eat it for a bit this evening. Happy Liberation Day. God bless.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your call. Looking forward to seeing you. And I mean, what you're saying, of course, it has been being said for years. I have a couple theories on why it's like that. But the government of Guyana just did something like that, where they redistributed state funding to across the board to different groups who were involved. My greater concern, and I'm glad this came up. Caller, just 1 second. I have to say this. I have to explain this. So, as you would know, and I'm not complaining about it, but from the time we've been doing our work for 30 years now, okay, governments have their reasons for supporting other interest groups or other individuals who maybe they feel more compatible with, or maybe they feel they can align their vision with, for whatever reason. That's not for me to analyze now. But what concerned me this time around is, as you would know, and I'd like you to message us on WhatsApp, okay? On 3320214. So we have these broadcast lists on WhatsApp that we send out information to. And recently, from what I understand, WhatsApp, or at least with some accounts or whatever, they've stopped the broadcast lists and you have to open up what's called communities. So the broadcast lists have 256 people each. And, you know, we'll send out messages. I have about 6 or 7 of those by 256. All right. So we lost those lists, and then we had to re-add contacts in a community group called Black Agenda Project, where we're sending out announcements, updates, information, etc. Now, last week, Sunday, there was one individual. Well, first of all, there were quite a few. As soon as a group opens up, or they see Black Agenda, or I guess they can see anything. They see people, they see numbers. And either they try to sell something, or promote something, or start to share out their own views, whatever it is. And that's understandable. But we had one particular individual who was really trying a scam. This person actually he took people off the contact list, and he handpicked those in America and Canada, and he actually phoned them saying that Dr. David Muhammad is having a special Zoom meeting tonight at 9:30. This is for like specially invited persons, and in order to get the link to the meeting, you had to send this person some details. Now, no discrimination here, but you know, I think young people who are tech savvy would be more likely to say, wait a minute, hold on, this doesn't sound right. Some very elder people who might not be as tech savvy, might be, some, just as the same with some young people, might be a little more vulnerable in those cases. But what alarmed me was the amount of people that this person called. And I'm not talking about sending out emails or sending out text messages or even sending out voice messages. He phoned people to give the impression that, yeah, they're really a specially invited guest. My estimation is he would have called on the phone about 50 or 60 people from early in the morning, last week, Sunday, to late in the evening. And a lot of these people would phone me directly and say, Brother David, are you having a Zoom meeting tonight at 9:30? You know, to clarify. I don't know how many people he called who did not seek clarification. And the thing is, last week Sunday, I always say, out of evil cometh good, because there were so many persons that I had not spoken to, especially in America and Canada. So many of our contacts who I wouldn't have spoken to probably since the pandemic. And we got to reconnect, which was good. Who had children, whose children graduated from school, who moved from one place to another, who opened a new business. It was a lot of catching up, which was good. But here we are. So, I mean, there are other events for African Liberation Day. A couple, again, that the government, well, one in particular that the government is sponsoring and supporting, and government ministers showing up and so on and so forth. Fine. If that's their choice, I don't have a problem with that. But I, don't want anyone to think, for example, that our African Liberation Day celebration, which we're promoting ourselves through our network, is something else that they're seeing in the media. And secondly, if we are taking up the responsibility to generate our own finances for our own operations, for our own charity, for our own feeding the poor, same thing with Eid and Ramadan. For the entire month of Ramadan, we're feeding our people. We don't go to the government to get a check as other groups do. And from what I understand, when it's Eid and Ramadan, they say, well, y'all are really like a black group. And, you know, we only give the funding to the Muslim groups. But y'all are like an African-based organization. Okay, fine. But when emancipation comes around, you hear, well, y'all are more a Muslim group, see? And, you know, funding for emancipation is more for the African-based groups, right? So we all are Muslims. And then when next year comes around again and it's Eid and Ramadan, they say, nah, y'all are African group. And then emancipation comes back and say, nah, y'all are a Muslim group. Oh, gosh. I'm just trying to help the critics out who make excuses for this state. But it's something else. But I say all of that to say, when efforts are being made against your progress, because that was a lot of hard work that they did last week, Sunday. I'm not sure what the final objective was. I guess it was some kind of scam because a couple people, you know, informed us of some of the questions that they asked this individual. Now, and again, I don't want to stereotype anyone anywhere, but they weren't from the Caribbean. They were from outside the Caribbean, outside of the Americas, so to speak. But they were using a St. Lucia phone number. And on being asked where they were from, their response was St. Lucia. They're from St. Lucia. I mean, who lives in St. Lucia and calls the country St. Lucia? And then I understand in the last part of the day, the individual was calling from a Trinidad number, but they clearly weren't in Trinidad, they weren't in St. Lucia. So, you know, I guess we have to be more aware of those things. But again, you cannot stop God's will. And again, those efforts were made to stop us, to slow us down, to restrict us, whatever. But out of evil always cometh good. And inshallah, we will see you at 3 o'clock at the Kwame Ture Center. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, blessed morning to you, Brother David.
Greetings, my brother.
Yes, and I know the editorial will be tough on African Liberation Day.
Yes, sir.
But Brother David, you know, if you check it out, Africa is not liberated still. You understand what I'm saying? Because this Francophone and the Franc, where they dealing with in 14 member states of Africa, they don't want to get rid of the French. They don't want to unify. Yeah. They don't want to get that African unity. I was following a documentary with a minister from South Africa. She speaks well concerning the welfare of Africa going forward. Africa Union, they haven't even get together to make sure that Africa is a one nation, one united nation, one currency, one whole, everything for the people. They're not people-centered. According to what is going on, all these African Union leaders is like, see for yourself. They like the little zoos they have controlling and where they could feed the animals and in-feed them. You understand what I'm saying? And the exploitation is still going on in Africa. We are speaking African Liberation Day as a holiday for all Africans internationally. If you understand what I'm saying, Brother David, that needs to have taken place. What about even in the CARICOM here and all? It was only, well, let me say, the few people who will really conscious about the liberation of Africa will be celebrating, if you understand me, but they're going about their business as usual.
Yeah.
Concerning the commerciality of the nations, because the commercial value they're dealing with it in everything right now.
Yeah.
So I would like to see, well, not even for the next 10, for the next 5 years, the true spirit of liberation and bringing Africa together take place, especially in Africa and the Caribbean. The bond between Africa, the African Union, and the CARICOM should be stronger. We should really, according to Dr. Wally, be traveling to Africa just like that.
Directly.
Yes, and what's happening, instead of let me say, the wealthy Africans going to Europe and America, let them come to the Caribbean, bring all your money here, see which what all they could invest in the Caribbean, instead of going to America and these places and spending all them, all they come to things. And who want to go to America, hop on a plane and go Africa and see what it look like, and see if they could invest in the welfare of Africa. Right now, Brother David, what I'm seeing, according to some of the documentaries, and it has certain philosophers, you know, like Lumumba and this lady, and a few others, like even this, the president of Burkina Faso right now, his consciousness concerning the welfare of Africa is superseded by all them who were there before and who are there right now. The consciousness of getting Africa together as one lies in the youth. Thank you very much, Brother David.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, my brother. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, my beloved sister.
Oh, boy, thank you. Listen, it's so good to have you back.
Oh, thank you.
But we must know that we can't be selfish with you. You have work to do, and the young people are benefiting from you wherever you go, and that is of utmost importance. You understand? But, boy, the African Liberation Day, how important and how good that is. And in the celebration there, you have the gentleman, Mr. Ferguson, and he is another warrior like yourself, one that we are proud of. So just everybody celebrate the day and keep focus on the objectives. And it's not just a day for celebrating. We have to get the unity there.
Absolutely.
Unity has to be the strongest point. We have to support each other in our businesses. However big or however small the business is, we must support each other. These things are vital for us, the unity. As the Brother Farrakhan would say, it's mandatory. So thank you so much, my brother, and continue your excellent work. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. I really hope to see you this afternoon as well. That would be the icing on the cake. But thank you so much. Hopefully, inshallah. All right, so that's 3 p.m. this afternoon at the Kwame Ture Center, African Unity Conference, African Liberation Day 2024. Our doors open at 2 o'clock. Okay, we start promptly at 3. Good morning, caller. Caller. My apologies. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Brother David.
Yes, sir.
Brother David, you know the last time I asked you was to check back on the settings there from, no, that will be about 10 years because it would be from about 2014, 2015. That time, as I told you, Mr. Biden was vice president. And then when you check through from that point in time, what we are experiencing in Palestine, what went on in Syria, what is going on in Russia and with Iran, you would realize, if you check back in your files, there were a time that that same plans were up. And when it came up and they make a big thing and they pretend that they forget about it, but we see 10 years later. But it's interesting now, as we're watching and seeing what is Mr. Biden and them, and at that point in time, all of them agreed to Britain, America, all France, all of them agreed that basically, if they went to pursue those paths, then they would be losing Indian nation by hundreds of millions. And because the destruction is going to come and take them. But Muhammad, I want all of them to think what a 20-point earthquake will do to America and other countries. And then basically, because you're seeing what is happening, Brother Muhammad. And every time they're seeing these new phenomena in the sky and what is happening afterwards. So I wanted to check back that day, and then basically we will correspond, because basically I saw you send things in my WhatsApp there, but I don't think I would be able to, I don't know if I may be able to make it today because of how some of my schedule is.
Right.
And I still have my position there, and I have to go through. Right now, I'm into the monetizing stage in Facebook and Instagram, so I have certain things that I must do on a daily basis. You understand? So I don't know if I get chance, I'll see if I can pass. If I didn't think I will end up But remember, even Saudi Arabia, at last time you said Saudi Arabia after Dua. Last year you did see Saudi, the Kaaba that basically in the flood out. And what is happening? Down in that side down there will get it's coming to deal with Israel. A 20-point earthquake will move away Saudi Arabia and all of them and the Kaaba and everything. But that's why I tell you to check out that in the thing. Israel figured that it's powerful and backed by America. America bombed, mashed up Palestine, and now the mother nature is mashing back up America. So I think that look of even just and worse than how it was looking in Palestine, they're not understanding. But the moment I love to analyze.
All right, thank you. Well, some views haven't heard for a while, but it's cool. Good morning, caller.
I must say good morning to Brother David Mohammed. Long time, my brother.
Great. How you doing, man?
Long time. I'm okay, brother. I'm okay. How everything with you?
I'm good. Okay,
happy African Liberation Days to all
Thank
of
you,
Trinidad
same
and
to you.
Tobago
Yes,
and
sir.
the whole Caribbean. But Mohammed, I have many discussions about you. Sometimes I don't call you, I sit in the pavilion and I listen.
Right.
And I have many conversations about you and the things that you are doing for the Afro community in this country. But Mohammed, I am so appalled that still in this country, in this day and age, when we talk African unity and so on, people watch us like we're talking racism, like we're talking a crime. Like, why you going with that? And some of us Africans who, so-called some of us in the middle class sector who feel we have decent little jobs and so on, we're not in this African thing. But here is what? Every other race in this country have a community. They have a backbone. They have a structure. We have the MCIC, National Commission for Indian Culture. Right? We have GOPIO, Global Organization for People of Indian Origin. We have the Chinese community. We have the Syrian community.
And all of them will most likely receive state funding as well, too. Don't miss that out.
Okay, so they will receive state funding also. But what also important is what that last caller said. You see, we have to know who we are and where we are and support us.
Yeah. Because
everybody knows Amaraj knows to go by Maraj and support him. But we
it's
all
natural.
Over the place.
It's natural for them. It's unnatural for us.
Oh my God, Brother Mohammed. We go all over the place and support and just spend our money here while here.
Travel far.
Oh my God, it is really, really hurting sometimes, eh?
Yeah.
But I also must give kudos to some of the young African entrepreneurs that are coming out in this country and realizing the old-fashioned way your mother and them used to tell us, but go to school, get a good education, get a good job. We started to push that narrative aside and learning now to be owners and not only earners. So I would like to congratulate you on a job well done, brother.
Owners, not
and
owners.
Keep up the good work. And Brother Mohammed, I don't know if when you have time, if you can give me a call. I'm looking to put something event forward, and I perhaps might need your assistance. So I don't know if
okay, well, listen, send me a message on WhatsApp. As I said, a lot of the contacts were lost, but send me a message again and let's reconnect. All right?
Thank you, my brother.
I hope to see you later today too.
I am trying my best. I'm on work right now speaking to you. So if once I put it before 4 o'clock, I'll try my best to rush down there.
All right,
because
lovely.
If you can tell him thanks for you also. Right?
Okay, good. Good.
Right?
All right, my brother. Yes,
okay,
sir.
thank you. I'll look and listen, my brother. Thank you.
All right. Caller, good morning. Yes, caller, good morning. Just a few seconds, but go ahead.
Wow. I feel I'm going to call back in the president.
No, I advise you to try to go ahead now. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Well, happy Liberation Day.
Yes, sir.
Right. And you know, you will see me down there.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you, brother.
Yeah, I hope to come. All right. And good morning to the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. And you start a nice topic by talking about the family, and it managed that, well, I better come in and start a subject here that interested how you just tell people out here that...
all right, my brother, thank you.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM. As we transition into summer, we continue to talk politics, current events, entertainment, and what's trending while balancing the talk with some of your favorite tunes, both old and new. Our purpose is to keep you informed and edify you, as well as to give you food for thought on the current affairs of this nation and the world. Keep it locked to the Street 919 FM every day, all day. Our on-air numbers are 342-0081 and 466-5391. Visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Street 919 FM. YouTube, IWER TV.
The Street 919 FM.
Share the life. Share the life.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
It's time to win big as we get you ready for Redemption, the concert on June 1st. The Redemption Roadshow takes a center stage with over 60,000 in prizes and redemption ticket giveaways, plus pure conscious vibes. 12 locations, 12 grand prizes, and tons of giveaways are in store.
This Friday, May 17th,
the Redemption Roadshow stops at
Eastgates Mall, Trin-City, 4 p.m. Then on Saturday, 18th May, we head to Extra Foods, Arima, 4 p.m.
For more info, call us 780-SHOW or 799-SHOW.
Yo, this is a Big Mike, not the mass man, the health man. And joining me
will be Little Mike as we discuss tips on taking you from zero health to optimum health using different protocols and techniques. Trinidad and Tobago. Join us every Wednesday from 10:05 a.m. to 10:35 a.m. on the Street 91.9 FM for
Health Talk with Big Mike. It's not where it is, it's here it is. Boom!
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's radio. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on.
You are invited to join Pastor Morris Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko, in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour Family Radio Ministry, every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Mondays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Trauma and Bereavement. Also, every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., The Low and You. Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Dealing with Disabilities. And every Friday evening from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., the all-night prayer live on the street 919 FM, designed with you in mind. This program deals with the day's issues from a biblical perspective, and you'll also be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He hath showed you, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of you, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Your financial support through the First Citizens Bank will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222. For further information, call 753-1113 or 610-4673.
Listen now. Share the life. I want everybody to share the life. Downtown Posse have to share the life. Uptown Posse have to share the life. Share the life. Share the life. Everybody just share the life. Tobago, share the life.
Must be recognized by the black man.
Many of us who pursue a profession in life never give a second thought to the fact that farming and agriculture is the first profession that Allah God introduced to man. If we study the book of Genesis, which represents the beginning of this world, and it also represents the beginning of every nation. God, after he worked 6 days, creating the heavens, the earth, the rivers, the lakes, the fish, the cattle, the herbs, the insects, the trees, the birds, the bushes, he lamented, saying, and there was no man to till the ground. So in the second chapter of Genesis, the 15th verse, it reads, and the Lord God took the man that he had made and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and keep it. According to the dictionary, to dress means to make or set straight, to prepare for use or service, to add decorative.
All right, welcome back and welcome to the second hour of the Black Agenda on this Saturday morning, African Liberation Day. May 25th, 2024. And of course, today is the African Unity Conference at the Kwame Ture Center. Doors open at 2 o'clock. The program starts sharply on time at 3. And we look forward to welcoming our people from across the community, across Trinidad, across Tobago, across the Caribbean, and also our guests who will be with us from overseas. It's a very, very, very special day. And it's also the 6th anniversary. It's the 6th anniversary of the opening of the Kwame Ture Center. It is the 61st anniversary of African Liberation Day itself. And it is, get this one, which was a major part of our inspiration, it's the 50th anniversary, May 27th, which is Monday, but this weekend is the 50th anniversary of Black Family Day 1974, where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan addressed 74,000 people in Randall's Island, New York. He was not even the leader of the Nation of Islam as yet. He was the spokesperson for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where he was placed there after Malcolm X. And that event has stood as one of the key moments in modern black history. All right, Black Family Day 1974. All right, so let's go back to our phone lines. And we're taking your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. And I think about 2 or 3 callers before, there was something that you triggered in my mind to raise. I know we were talking about that WhatsApp situation recently and some of the mischief that's being made with them. But listen, now there's a brother, good brother, who has quite a few WhatsApp groups. And he's added me, mainly like news groups. But this brother added me to another group. And I have to tell you about some of those responses. Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Good
yes.
morning.
President still on, man, because I recognize what's
You're
happening
still
there.
on?
Yeah, but I know how to hold the phone.
Oh.
Yeah, all right, so, well, what I was saying, and I don't make my business already, so it's strange to recognize that I just really hear you saying a lot. African people do for self, seek for self, do for self. A very important thing in your subject as you start. So, somebody to ask that government help African people. I'm not seeing that much with government, especially Trinidad government in this end. Now, Dr. Rowley make a mission to Ghana. I find it's a good thing because the conversation that he come back with talking about that is that bringing the Caribbean together in a sense to able to link with Africa. And you'll be surprised to know that I am even hearing people really talking about that so much, even in understanding that the decade for African consciousness almost end. And at least he do something nice there, and I hardly hear people talking about it.
Yeah, that's an excellent move.
Yeah,
That's an excellent move.
Yeah, I just listen. I find it ready because I talk on it. I talk about it on radio for the week already. I mean, yes. So we go in there. I have no problem with that. Even at that, they say we have the Baron Lara Stadium. So all right. So it consider that Baron Lara is a big brother here, and we have a big brother. We have some sort of Indian big brother and them who. So what if our next stadium come up? I mean, the value thing might be a little different when you might able to feed people with money, and that's how people will think. But I don't really find nothing bad there now because so show me that you're dealing with the Indian and the African.
All right. Thank
so
you.
With that, that is my point really.
Yeah.
So that people do for self, see for self.
Yes.
And I think that's the point you've been enjoying long time. Right? And you could keep it in the family part. Well, you talk the family part. You have a course to say, and I hear you start it and see it here. Go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, my brother. And let me just say this about the recent Africa trip. This is something that we all have to be so mindful of. There is a bank. This is going to be a whole conversation, possibly next week. There would be something said about it today. But there's a bank. The name of the bank is, it's the Afrexim Bank. Have you heard about that? Tell me. Have you heard about Afrexim Bank? You'll hear a bit more about it today. Afrexim Bank is a bank based in Africa that is setting up branches all across the Caribbean. But there are just 2 countries in the Caribbean that are putting up resistance against it. It's literally investing in black communities. It's building bridges between Africa and the Caribbean. It's almost like direct flights between Africa and the Caribbean on terms of banking. But 2 countries have impediments within the decision making that are trying to block and prevent Afrexim Bank. One of those countries is Jamaica, and the other of those countries, yes, you guessed it, Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I saw part of the Prime Minister's speech when he was in Ghana, and he mentioned Afrexim Bank as a great move, as something that's needed, as the kinds of efforts to unite the Caribbean with Africa. This was, what, a couple of weeks ago? But there's an impediment. I want you to think and read between the lines if you can. Like I said, there's a brother who has much more insight on this than myself, who's an expert in that field, who has agreed to tell us more about this bank and the opportunities available, the Afrexim Bank, at the African Unity Conference today. But someone, and again, I'm not going into this in any detail now. I'll let brother address that. Someone, and I'm being frank and blunt, in the government is putting up serious resistance. Not the Prime Minister. We've already heard the Prime Minister, while he was in Africa just a couple weeks ago, talk about the need for Afrexim Bank. But someone inside the government, it is understood, who has a lot of say over finances, is setting up blocks because there's another bank locally. Let me just say, not a bank of questions, but an answer bank that is being positioned, tied in, because the headquarters for the African Bank in the Caribbean apparently is in Barbados. So this local bank in Trinidad that is not controlled by our people, this bank has made connections with Barbados. And whereas there would be these beneficiaries for the African community through this Afrexim Bank, which is all over the Caribbean now, except Trinidad and Jamaica, this local bank has been like inserted in the middle. I guess you could say a Syrian bank, if we're looking at ethnicity in banking. So we have an African bank and we have a Syrian bank. So the Syrian bank in Trinidad is being placed in the way of the African bank, while all other Caribbean nations are welcoming the African bank. Lord have mercy on us. But we have the Syrian bank. And it reminds me of when I went to Africa 2 years ago for the first time. And we had a meeting with an ambassador, African ambassador from Barbados. And my heart sank in that meeting because he was telling us about how proud he was. And this is where the brainwashing comes in, beloved. I want you to think deeply about this. This is where the brainwashing comes in. This ambassador from Barbados, between Barbados and Africa, was expressing his pride of the Caribbean doing business with Africa. And he said, and Trinidad businessman. And he was proud. But I have to confess that I did not share that pride because I know what's happening on the inside. It was Syrian businessmen from Trinidad that are taking advantage of the opportunities for African Caribbean people. But once you get our people to think, well, no, we're all Trinidadians. He is one love here. Is rainbow country here. Here every creed and race finds an equal place. So the Syrian investors are given all the opportunities in the name of being Trinidadians. And it makes you wonder what on earth will happen with reparations if reparations were to come through to Trinidad. Would it all go into the hands of Syrian business investors? And meanwhile, we pretend that we don't know about African empowerment efforts. So I've been made to understand, and I am not involved in this directly, but I've been made to understand that there are African conscious people in banking, in finances, in economics, in government who support the government, but I'll say no, this one here is going a little too far with this Afrexim Bank. But again, you'll hear a bit more about that today, inshallah. And maybe we'll talk about it next week because, of course, it's a delicate situation. And we believe that if the right amount of pressure is put, a decision will be taken and we say, okay, we'll bring it straight to Trinidad instead of having the Syrian bank here being the gateway for it. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines. 342. Caller?
Good morning. Hello?
Caller?
Yes.
Well, I'm hearing you very faintly.
Hello? I've been holding on. Eka Aro, Dr. Mohammed.
Wait. How long have you been holding on?
Since you started with the giving explanation about.
I am so sorry. So what I'm realizing is that we have 3 phone lines running through 2 phones. But my deepest apologies. Please go ahead.
Yes, I'll accept it. I didn't want to hang up because I know it's difficult to get back.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I would listen. What you were saying was very interesting. So I must, because I keep saying Ekaro, Dr. Mohammed, but you wasn't hearing. So it's after I realized, well, I said, look, let me hold on still. And, I just was giving the morning greetings, but it was I am so glad I tuned in. I just came back from the farmer's market, and I said, wait now, David Mohammed program supposed to start. So I listened, and I did not even remember that today is the African...
Seriously? Hello? Oh my. All right, okay. Well, you accepted my apology. I'll forgive you for this.
Yes, I will try. Yeah, we both have to.
Yeah, so we equal now.
Yes, I would try and see if I could make it because I have to take someone. I gave a promise to take someone somewhere for 5:30 to 5:45. So I will come, make my presence, and I might more or less leave around 5 to come back to Big Mountain. So, but I most certainly will be there.
Looking forward to seeing you so much.
What I wanted to say was, I heard Tabakit's contribution, and I am saying, I don't know if you, Brother David, I keep asking, now we know the Muslims got grounds at Baraka grounds. The Hindu has their Diwali Nagar. Dr. David, could you tell me where the African grounds are, where the because every year they wonder, the Emancipation Committee wonder if they will get the Savannah to keep their event, because it has been keeping there, and if they have something spectacular and they're getting more money, they could say, well, sorry, you all can't get it for this week. The African needs to have a piece, a bronze everybody got. I keep saying this year after year, and I want to find out if they ever made a request, what is going on, because you can't tell me an African man is the prime minister, and if it is, correct me if I'm wrong, because the 2 of the representatives were on TV6 this morning, not this morning, yesterday, and they didn't open the lines, but if they opened the lines, I would have asked that question. There was a lady and a gentleman, and I'm saying, where is the grounds for the Africans to keep their celebration? Where? I remember when Patrick Manning was in office, some talk came up about giving them Mandela. Remember when they turned King George V back to Mandela Park? Right. That was the fittest time. The African Emancipation Committee could have gotten there.
That's a point.
What are they waiting on?
But do you remember a lot of people down in the West? Do you remember a lot of people down in the West, not wanting to mischaracterize people from the West, by the way, but do you remember a lot of people from the West strongly objected to that?
Correct is right. I remembered.
Not people from the West like you.
No.
Other people from the West.
You remember when they were two, because they have the one closer to the walkover where the shooting took place. The one that is right after Victoria Keys, they put up an objection, and the government stood the ground and they still build it. Oh, it go devalue the property and all that crap. And I am saying this government, the PNM government, they give in too much, they bow. I am saying all these other groups have land. The Walinaga, the Baraka grounds, they could have wherever they want, whenever. And you telling me the African Emancipation Committee can't get a piece of land nowhere? How is this? This thing bothers me, Dr. David, and that Mandela Park, they could have put up something because you name it Mandela Park. There is an area further to the west, down before you meet Roxy Roundabout.
Yep.
They say go take the corporation on that here. The corporation on that, the Porter State Corporation. There is where the rugby or something. You see a lot of white boys playing there. So they want with the my Jesus, man. This thing, if you know, this thing upsets me every time emancipation comes around. The African Emancipation Committee has nowhere to say days we owed. We could keep a function, could keep whatever, anytime, any day. Why? I would like somebody, and I remember when you spoke about there you all got there. Remember? Correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it? Under the UNC you got there, where you all have the Kwame Tourist Center?
Yeah, the land.
Right. I remember you saying it, and there was a particular minister when they wanted to give you all something a lot, and he objected, and I say, hats off. Was it Winston Gypsy Peter?
But from what I understand, almost all of them objected. And again, from the inside information, so Winston Gypsy Peters was a major catalyst. He was in the cabinet meeting at the time. But here what the irony of that was. Now, obviously, I was not there. And the former prime minister was the final decision maker on it. And of course, we're grateful. But it was Winston Gypsy Peters who had immediately... So it was just the two of them who were in agreement. But the irony of it, from what I understand, I might be mistaken. I can't remember exactly what the other parcel was, but it was a discussion about two parcels of land. One was yes. The other took over 45 minutes of deliberation. Yes, because it was felt that if this particular land where the Kwame Ture Center was built, if it were granted, it would be more or less housing an organization that is aggressive against the state. Really? Yeah. Now the thing is, the funny thing is, another former government minister had approached me maybe about 2 or 3 years after and claimed that he was the one who was and you know what, the way it is, and we do know that politicians do tell lies. That's, I mean, come on, it's part of their profession.
Wait, what he was saying is he was instrumental in your getting it, or was objective?
No, listen, no one will come in my face and tell me that they objected to it, especially after seeing the results of it. But I'm sure if it was, I don't know, say 20 persons in the cabinet meeting, if you speak to all 20, all of them will say they supported it. No one will admit that they did not.
I must say, I saw Brother David, I listened to you attentively, and I could remember you spoke about that. And I say, wow, Brother Gypsy Peters,
yeah,
go to the head of the class, and he stood his ground, and you all got there. And you're not doing work, because what I came there many times, the functions you have and you show, and all the studios. I remember the last time I was there, 2 young guys, one became a doctor, and one guy was speaking to his father after the function, and one was an engineer.
Wow.
Out of that Kwame Ture.
All right, yes, of course, Dr. Keno Douglas, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, so hats off to you. I mean, I just
And you know, Dr. Douglas, who's the son of one of our brothers, Brother Andy, every year for Eid, he chooses a day and he sponsors all the food for Ramadan. Every year during Ramadan, he chooses a day and they sponsor food for everyone. And it's always a day that we look forward to so much.
That is, I mean, you're doing a great, you know what I say? If you save one youth from going down that path we are seeing where some of them heading, you did something good. And you have been doing a great job for the youths of wherever who could come there. I am saying hats off to you. I say Nakupa Sifa. I give you all the praise. Well done. Brother David, I will support whatever. I will make sure and attend. I will have to leave before it's over, but I will make sure and be there. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Have a blessed
Thank
weekend
you
and
so
give
much.
somebody else a chance.
Appreciate it so much. Wow. Good morning.
Hey.
Yes.
Morning, Brother Muhammad. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. I am 49. I am 47 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be straightforward. At my age, you can't hide nothing again. You have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it has something or someone or some people don't want the African men to strive in this country. And as I say, African men, and I'm not going to women, because most of the people who are getting gunned down on the streets is young black men. And the media does parade it like if it's a show. Because when you're watching the things that is happening, you have to tell yourself, like it's something or some force want to keep us down, and they enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they glorify us killing each other. Because look, the Prime Minister of Africa, and to me, I could be right, I could be wrong, but not in media, not putting it out, or not educating the African people about what is going on and what is happening. Because if it's a situation, when it has certain holidays, it does be commercialized before the holidays start.
Mm.
When it's an African holiday, it is always, they don't commercialize it more.
Mm.
And if it's something for black people, it always has to be a debate. Is it right or is it wrong? Now, I'm a child of the 80s. I'm born in the 70s, child in the 80s, adult in the 90s, a full man now. So, they say the more older you get, the more wise you become. And you have to learn every day by what you see. But sometimes you have to watch and talk because you get to realize it has something here that don't want the Africans to strive in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I call Trinidad and Tobago because I've never been to Grenada. I've been to Barbados, and that's just all I have to say. Because I get to realize out here is a game playing, and if we don't open our eyes, Brother Muhammad, we will always be second. And in this race, it have no silver for finishing second. We have to come together and we have to unite. We have to get our own. Our own is the key for us to strive forward. And we can't let no other people tell us how to live and how to move. That is what I have to say. I'm sorry I had to be blunt on the radio, but at times, great men were blunt and the life was cut short. Because J. Edgar Hoover say, once you kill a Messiah, they will never have a next male black leader. Have a good morning.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, sir. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Mohammed, Mr. Harvey Boris was on the radio this Wednesday night, and he was talking about the same thing, the African Bank. Before you...
Oh, really?
Yeah, before we started talking
But
about
did he mention anything at all about the Syrian bank that seems to be, I don't want to say standing in the way, but are being placed in the way?
No, he mentioned about what you were saying, that he want to know what it is blocking, why it is set up in Trinidad.
Really?
It's set up in Barbados, it is set up in St. Lucia.
It's set up everywhere except,
Yes,
Trinidad
except
and
Trinidad.
Jamaica.
So Mr. Harvey Burson on the radio, he wanted to, he said he would do all in his power to make sure that bank is set up in Trinidad.
Wow.
You understand, Mr. Harvey? Yeah, that we were talking about. And before I was trying to go on the radio to talk about the same thing, the bank. Why it is the blocking? Why? You see, we have to lobby the government through the Prime Minister and make sure that they set up that bank in Trinidad. That is opportunity for the African people in Trinidad. We have to do that. We must leave no stone unturned. We have to make sure that bank is set up here. You understand? It will help the not only the African people, other ethnic group as well. The bank itself will deal with mostly African people, but it's business, other business venture could develop for other people as well. You understand? So that is something I want to see set up here. I was so upset when Mr. Harvey was talking. He was who blocking that? Why they blocking it? You understand? I even tried to contact you to find out why it is, if you know anything about it. So I will try to be at your event this evening. I will try to be there because I know it is important.
Yes, sir.
And you continue to do the good work, but we have to do all in our power to make sure that African bank is set up in Trinidad. And you supposed to be one of the men that people looking forward to do something, lobby, do whatever you could do to make sure that bank is set up here. You must have a branch in India.
I'm really glad you raised that, brother.
Yes, you have to. Yeah, they are serious thing. We have to do something, right? You see, they kill Gaddafi for that. The same thing we were trying to implement. They kill him because they want that. But eventually, it still come to fruition. It does start already to spread. You understand? And we have to make sure, and that bank, we only talk to the Prime Minister, you together with the Emancipation Support Committee, all the African groups have to come to talk to the Prime Minister seriously. Lobby to make sure that bank is set up in Trinidad, a branch of that bank is set up in Trinidad. If you could set up in St. Lucia and Barbados and all them other Caribbean countries, why they can't have a bank up here? With the Syrian community blocking so, why they want you to be always coming by, how much business they want? They have business all over the Caribbean and in Trinidad. Why them have to go in the way to block that? You understand what I'm saying?
But we're letting them do it. That's the thing. Because obviously they are not the ones making the decision for themselves. They're getting support.
Yeah.
They're being empowered.
Listen now, nobody right now, the government is in power. Dr. Keith Christopher, only the Prime Minister, and he is human. Just as we could say, change this thing, that holiday to African Liberation Day. He could come forward and say and let that happen. Because he's the Prime Minister. If nobody else has more power than the Prime Minister, who could have more power on the cabinet? He had to come out forward straight and say that. And he as well knows. If we link up with Africa, you think he know that? If we link up with Africa and Ghana, it must have a bank in Trinidad.
But at the Prime Minister's speech in Ghana, he mentioned the bank.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, he spoke very highly of it. He spoke about it as a need. But then to come back to Trinidad and meet these people who have decision-making power in government, you know.
So that's the answer, Musha Bank, like Sapan and them, the Shiran, and the answer, Musha Bank. Them already have a bank. How much bank they want? Why they blocking it? They have a bank already, and people, African people invest. I show it African people invested in that bank. So why they can't?
Well, of course, they can't invest in the bank on their own. If only they invest in the bank, wouldn't even have a bank.
Right, but African people invested. I show it African businessmen invested in the Answer Musha Bank, owned by the staff brand them. Yeah. Okay, I had to, excuse me.
Yeah, all right, my brother. All right, see you later, inshallah. Thanks a lot for calling.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a very sad story, beloved. Trust me, it's a very sad story. Caller, good morning. What's this? Caller?
Good morning again, Brother David.
Good morning. It looks like we have two calls on the line. I'm not sure.
You hear me?
Yes, I am.
Right.
Okay, apparently, wait. Apparently there's someone else. Is there someone else on the line?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a conference call apparently.
Oh.
We're all through the same line, but let's make it work. All right. What's up?
Yeah, Brother David.
Yeah.
Mr. Farrakhan, in the start of this hour, you played a clip from Mr. Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Where you could have extended it a little more. Because it have a part where you talk about the savings now.
Yes.
10 cents and everybody put into that. You see that African Exim Bank?
Yes.
I would like the Prime Minister to make sure that it is established in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yep.
I'm calling out to the Prime Minister right now to make sure that whoever trying to stop it,
move them from there. I fed up at them.
You have right? And one more thing is that the Green Wall of Africa, stretching from Djibouti to Mauritania, I would like to see that come to fruition. 15 billion trees to be planted to make the Garden of Eden once again. Thank you very much. I know there's somebody else.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, my brother. Very well said, very well spoken. Yeah, other caller, brother? Caller? Isn't there someone else still on the line? Yeah, go ahead. Sir? Do you want to proceed with your contribution?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
You listen?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
So that is a call that the Prime Minister had to make. He had to make sure and set up that bank because that is the only bank that will help African people. Because right now these banks in Trinidad, they're taking and making millions of dollars in profit. How much African people benefiting out of that? Anything you do in the bank now, they're taking money. You understand? African people in Trinidad can hardly survive, you know. When coming to get benefits from the commercial banks in Trinidad, we ain't getting nothing, next to nothing. If you just go away, draw a little money, they're taking money. Anything you're trying to do, they're taking. It's millions of dollars in profit they're making every year, you know. And they're boasting, they're bragging, they're making millions.
And it's still not enough.
Right, it's still not enough. Right?
And we are the ones who defend them.
Yeah. Why we can hardly survive with the banks, African people hardly survive with the banks and the commercial banks in Trinidad. The succulents dry. We spending, I almost sure poor African people saving, the majority is poor African who saving the money in the bank. Why we can't get a benefit, something out of it? We just hardly get anything. Scrums are giving we. They just holding the money for us, that's all we getting. They have the money saving. But with the saving, we have to pay them to save the money. We get pickers, we get next to nothing.
Yeah.
We could hardly do something after the saving, the African for African could hardly do anything with the saving, the saving what we have in the bank. They're taking from us and they ain't giving us anything, you know. All they're doing is just saving the money. Why they're making millions of dollars in profit every year? It's because of that. You understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I'll get somebody else, I'll call somebody else.
My brother, I'm very grateful to you for your wisdom. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Caller, good morning.
Yes, I'll be quick.
Yes.
Because people are coming alive to understanding what is going on.
Yeah, it's something else. You're seeing
Yes.
an awakening.
Definitely. So how much they want to pull wool over our eyes. But I know who is that minister that's putting a resistance to it.
Well, it's obvious. It's obvious, isn't it?
I mean, that level of greed and selfishness, it has to be sick. It's a sick mind that would produce that kind of a thing. And I want to mention, we are not hearing clearly out here, you know.
Is that so?
Yes, and I've been trying to get in a while now to let you know this, but we are not hearing clearly. The lady from Diego Martin who always makes fabulous contributions, we hardly heard all of what she said.
Oh,
this
no.
gentleman and so on. Yes. But what I'm saying is, what struck me with the trip to Ghana
Yeah.
is the amount of glory,
Yeah.
Mr. Padmore, having those countries. Even in Russia, I heard there are monuments to him.
George,
What we have
they
here-
asked George Padmore to become a Russian citizen.
You understand? What do we have here? Once again, an African mustn't be proud. And with all of what you're doing, you mustn't feel your pride. But it's unbearable. I had to ask Mr. Boris last Wednesday. It's about 4 weeks ago he come and talking about this bank and come back again to ask people what is it. I have heard him on numerous occasions talk about his Syrian friends and his Indian brothers and sisters. You have you are in government. You are in government. You get all kind of plaques and all sorts of things that they gave to you because you are there. You know what's going on, but you're still coming to ask us. That's a front, I must say. I'm sorry, but I have to say it. That's a front. And it's high time we get up and do something. We cannot take it sitting down that one set of people must just hog everything and be greedy and then have the audacity. Huh?
Yes,
And have the audacity to talk about with the parking. It's poor people they're hurting with it. Everybody jumping on the poor people bandwagon. We have it's the poor people that they're hurting with the thing. No, if you want more cars to come and park to buy a synthetic, nasty, overpriced fabric, that is what it have nothing to do with no poor. Because I never know, it's only where you all are concerned. But when you make a law is for everybody. If you can't park, poor, rich, everybody can't park. But the only time the law could break is when all you break it. So don't come and tell people what you say thinking of the poor who they're giving the traffic ticket to. That's not the reason. Listen, this is too much now. Why we must have nothing? Why they just want to strip us of everything? But they will wait. We are here and we are rising. We are rising. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Mohammed.
Yes, caller.
You listen?
Yes, I am.
You have the bank of Barudan Trader.
Yep.
Look, you hear anybody protesting about that? Nobody protesting. Nobody saying nothing. They have a branch in Trinidad. Plenty of them Indian businessmen investing in that. Nobody, African people ain't saying nothing. They are against them because that is the Indian market. It would help the Syrian community and it also help the Syrian businesses. Right? No African in protesting. We don't protest. We protesting against them having a bank. Why don't want to set up a bank in African bank? as a branch from Africa. If they want to set up one in Trinidad, why they must come and block it? I have a serious problem with that. We are trying to block that for. You understand? We hear nobody talking about the Baroda Bank and going against it and disparaging it and talking negative thing about it. Nobody is saying that. Why you can't have an African bank set up in Trinidad? Why the Syrian and them have to block it? Or the Lebanese community have to block it?
But see, that's the thing. That's part of the issue. They are not blocking it. They're benefiting from it. Yeah. It's we who are blocking it for them.
Right, okay.
That's the problem. You understand? Okay. But caller, thank you so much, though. Thank you so much for your call.
All the best, all the best to you. You continue to do a fantastic job on here.
Yes, sir.
This is the Community Center. Many times when you have your cultural events, something like this come up, and you continue to do a fantastic job. Fantastic. I always try to listen to this program maybe Saturday. Sometimes I will miss it out.
That's not good.
But boy, you're doing a fantastic job, and you just continue to do that job, continue to do our good work, continue to educate African people, open up their minds to so much opportunity that it has. Yes. And once you work hard together and we pull all resources together, we can move mountains. And this is the kind of thing you continue to do this work, and you continue to do this work. I used to listen to you since Street by the Tasha, by the Laventail Health Center, by the
Wow.
Since that time I follow you, and I continue to follow you, and you continue to really do a fantastic job. People don't know the kind of work you do. They don't know. But I appreciate the work you're doing, and continue to do your work, and continue to motivate and inspire African people to do greater things.
Thank you, brother.
Be the kind of people that we really want to be.
Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, next caller, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. It's I call back again, but I'm happy.
All right, listen, this morning, I've never experienced this, but the board is so overwhelmed. It's one thing to have a lot of people calling in, but for most of the program so far, we've actually had 3 people on the line at the same time.
All right.
And when I try to answer calls, I'm seeing they're saying conference call.
Conference?
Yeah. So it looks like right now we have 4 callers on the line. But go ahead, and then you will have to hang up. Yeah, go ahead.
I ain't saying because I want people to get a chance. Yeah, what I'm saying, the same thing what the woman say, I agree with you. The media is the cause of everything because they're talking about the wrecking on the streets. And the same people who are against us from striving telling us poor people. So when everything always come out, they always want to call poor people because they refer to us. You understand? I ain't staying long. Let our people share their thoughts. Have a good morning.
All right, my brother. Thank you. Caller, good morning. Caller, good morning.
Yes, Mr. Mohammed, morning.
Yes, go ahead, please.
On this line, we hearing properly.
Oh.
The line that mommy call, the mom call, and somebody that was lady. Whereby line that was that low line. The line the man was on for long this while, that low. This line, we hearing very good on it. So you would maybe 4-2 something 0-0 each one or something like.
466-5391.
No, it's 4. It's some 421 or 0081 or something.
Oh, 3420081.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead.
How are you going? Everything all right?
Everything is great. I'm excited about today.
All right. Yeah, I excited too, but really and really can't make it. The last time I came at African conference, the first time I looked at the center.
All right. Yeah.
But I used to go to one in Cipriani, and I went to one in South. And a long time.
That was 2017. Cipriani was 2014.
Right. And it had one somewhere else that time.
We had one at the Agricola Credit Union Auditorium, which was chaos. That was Tragreed Road.
No, never went that one.
And then the one after that was at Port of Spain City Hall.
the one away. City Hall.
Right. But the
City
one at
Hall.
Agricola Auditorium was
Yes.
jam-packed, overcrowded. I mean, people were...
Them days, boy.
It was...
Remember them days?
It was scorching hot inside there.
Yeah, that was real warm. Remember that?
And believe it or not, they were wrecking cars outside. Could you believe that? Honest, anyway. Go ahead, brother.
Brother, wonderful work. Keep up the work, brother. Brother, I just asking, if I have a youth, like one of our partners, son, he's like 13 years old. I can bring him down to tell me what he's saying, like, join the boys.
Of course. That's why we have the academy.
So what day is the best day to come? On Sunday morning?
The best day to come would be a Sunday morning at 11.
During the same or whatever?
Yeah. Because all the brothers who deal with the academy and so on will be there. We're there every Sunday morning at 11. Right? That'll be the best time to come. Yeah?
All right, brother.
All right. Thank you. All right. So I guess we just have time for me to bid you farewell. Hope to see you later today. African Unity Conference 2024 at the Kwame Ture Center. Our doors open at 2 p.m. The event starts promptly at 3 p.m. It's going to be powerful. There is no other occasion in this country like this, and we pray that you are part of it today. There's an explosion of information that will hit you. Beloved, may Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
As we transition into summer, we continue to talk politics, current events, entertainment, and what's trending while balancing the talk with some of your favorite tunes, both old